Hey guys, and welcome to this edition of Scruff's Garage. So today, working on my 97 Jeep Wrangler. Today's project is a rear tire carrier. So I recently did a lift and larger tires. Spare tire doesn't fit. These are a 265/75/16, so basically a 32-inch tall tire on Rubicon Moab wheels. Even after doing a little spacer under the third brake light, really doesn't matter because the bottom of the tire still hits the stock rear bumper. At some point I may do a bumper and tire carrier, like a swing out tire carrier deal, but for now I would like just to be able to have the spare tire on the Jeep. Rugged Ridge makes this spare tire carrier. It spaces it out further. It should accommodate a larger tire. To get this tire carrier off, pretty straightforward. Some bolts, looks like 4 bolts. And then we also have to, we're going to reuse the third brake light. So that has to be unbolted from that. That's pretty straightforward. 4 bolts on there. The wiring for the third brake light runs down through the tire carrier. And that's what comes out over here, goes through the rear gate, comes out over here, and then this is where it makes contact in the body of the vehicle. These plugs, if you pull on them and twist a little bit, they'll come loose, and then we'll have to fish this through the gate so that we can transfer this and the wiring over to the new tire carrier. So not too complicated. I'll get started and show you as I make progress. Here's a look. So I've got the new tire carrier installed. They have you reuse the mounting hardware from the original tire carrier that you took off. So save those, don't throw those away. They give you new hardware. Like I said, you transfer over the third brake light assembly. Dip the wiring down through the opening, run it back through the door, have to push the grommet back in. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to mount the tire up and see how that fits. And here we go with the tire mounted. So I will have to space out these bumpers, right? Ideally, you want the tire kind of pulled tight against those bumpers so it takes some of the movement out of the tire. Otherwise, it puts a lot of stress on the tire carrier itself. As far as the height, let's do it this way. This tire carrier really only moves it outward. It really didn't move it up. Maybe not any at all. I think if it were sitting further in, even this 32-inch tire would hit the top of this bumper. So keep that in mind. Obviously, like I said, I've got a 265/75/16, which is a 32, but plenty of people would be running tires much bigger than that, 33s, 35s, whatever. Obviously, you get to a limit as to how much weight you want to put on that tailgate door. I think this will do what I need it to for now. Like I said, it gives you plenty of clearance up over the third brake light because that mounts to the top there. So that part's no problem. Here we go. So here's a look at the spacers that I had made. Had a buddy 3D print some. I printed those at 1 3/4 inches. Probably could have gone 2 inches. It does touch the tire, though on one side, if you can see, there's just a hair of a gap. So I probably could have gone 2 inches on the spacer, but it does make contact. They do what I need them to do. So that's one option for you. If you have somebody that can do some 3D printing, those spacers turned out pretty well. There's other ways to make spacers, but that's the option that I went with. So I think it turned out pretty well. The factory rubber spacer, right, so I reused that. That comes out, it's a little T27 screw. And then I went to Ace Hardware and got some longer bolts. Ended up using 3-inch bolts, so that's a 1-inch bolt. And then that's 1 3/4 inches. So what they had available was 3 inches, and that worked out just fine. So just a final look at how that mounts on the back of the Jeep. Overall, very happy with it. I've actually had it on the back of the Jeep for a number of months now without any issues, so I'm very happy with it. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to post those down in the comments. As always, I'll answer anything that I can, and I look forward to seeing you next time here on Scruff's Garage.